Welcome to the Russian Republican trenches. Hey guys, welcome back to Gates of Hell. My name is Diplex, and this is, well, something very special. This is a Kaiserreich-inspired World War I style battle set between the German Empire and the Russian Republic. I don't think you'd say comrade if this was, you know, post-Russian Revolution and, well, where it failed, because the Kaiserreich setting is quite interesting. I believe Germany won World War I, remained an empire. The Russians won the Russian Revolution, or the Tsar Empire remained. The White Army conquered the communist Bolsheviks, one could say. So I know the Kaiserreich theme is very popular these days. There are plenty of mods for games out there. One of the more popular mods is for Hearts of Iron 4. It's a humongous mod. And the whole Kaiserreich thing is almost now like a trademark. It's like its own business, and it's kind of cool. I don't know much about it. In fact, I've never really played anything. All I know that it's almost a bit steampunky in a way, and it's kind of like this old colonial imperialistic view on Europe and the world instead, where instead of, you know, the newer progressive powers like Bolshevism and etc. Appears and takes over, one could say. So I think it's a really interesting setting. Today we are doing a battle between the German Empire and the Russian Republic. I tried editing the Budinovkas here to replace them with the Republican Eagle. It's a black eagle with kind of like yellow gold claws. Very cool. It's also not a fictional logo or emblem. It is the one that the Russians used briefly before the Russian Revolution and Civil War. Those are two separate things, by the way. But the German Empire looks really cool. I've used officer caps and a variety of them, you know, tanker caps and etc. for the infantry, just to sort of distinguish the officers from the enlisted. And they got their great coats on, and it's just so cool. We're using only rifles, pistols, and some machine guns. In fact, I've given the Russians the DT instead of the DP machine gun. It just looks cool. Everyone's got bayonets. So do the Germans. Yes, some of the Russian troops here have the black coats. I could not get that red star off any of the hats. I believe I'll be able to modify that later on. Texture modding in this game is fun, and I've done it plenty of times for previous videos. The Russian artillery are using some of these sort of like dockyard caps that I think look super cool. It's just gonna be a cool battle. We have around 200 Soviets defending, I do believe, and we've got 1,000 Germans attacking with mortars, machine guns, and it's sort of on this. Oh, I'm not supposed to show you that. Hold up, 1 second. Right, so that's why you turn boundary haze on, and that leads me to the other part of this topic. I've left the boundary haze out of this on the flanks. It kind of makes it easier to spectate without having half of the units here on the side clouded in this misty fog. If I had expanded this map very far left and right, it wouldn't have, you know, affected the units on the flanks. But for this type of battle, it's nice. It's almost like a tabletop situation kind of deal, right? So guys, without further ado, let's enjoy. And yes, you're going to see some new equipment that I thought were very sort of 1920s, sort of, oh, I don't know, very steampunkish with the tanks we're using and the kind of equipment and the guns and everything. And these M1902s or whatever these are work fantastic with this setting. Yes, guys, in the comment section down below, let me know if you guys want to see, if you want us to make this fictional universe in this game, right? We could have this like super cool Kaiserreich thing going. Do I have to pay them like revenue for using their thing, or is it like an open-based source thing? Whatever, credits to the Kaiserreich team. This is not actually Kaiserreich, it's just inspired by it, and I sound like John Malkovich all of a sudden. Anyway, guys, the battle is on. Here we go, guys. Oh, man. Oh, look at him with a pistol, with a Nagant revolver. It's so cool. Here come the armor rolling up. Let's have a look at these tanks. Never seen these before, but they were indeed used. And that engine just, well, it sounds awesome. Oh, and it's just barely getting out there. Oh, friendly fire. Oh, that should have killed both crew members inside. No, they're getting out. Oh! Bloody terrible way to go, guys. The German officer leading the charge. Oh. For the Empire! Für das Kaiserreich! Oh, man. Here's the infantry. I just think they look awesome in these caps. German artillery pulled up by the ridgeline now. Fire! Oh. And of course, we're going to use the drum instead of the belt. It looks way more steampunkish. And I don't know why it has to be steampunkish. This isn't a steampunk sort of setting, but yeah, there's just something about it that really works well with this alternate history. 1,000 men, my friends. 1,000 German troops, and they still have not breached that first line. But they're trying. They're rushing up. They're taking cover where cover can be found. There's some cover to be had in the craters behind the destroyed German light tanks. And in some of the alternating terrain elevation. Let's see if we can have a look here on the left flank. They seem to have come a bit further than the right flank. Well, we have flamethrowers at the ready, of course. That is not to be forgotten. That we indeed have German flamethrowers on the field. trench assaulters, or assault sappers, or whatever you want to call them. Sapper. Oh, that bunker is toast. There are mines here too that some of the Germans are triggering. But it looks like they're getting through now. Jesus. Vorwärts! Vorrückung! I will correct myself. I believe it is Vorrücken, not Vorrückung. But it's been such a long time since I even studied German, or let alone spoke it. Don't you think these little caps look awesome for the Republican troops? Have you guys seen Shadow and Bone? Yeah, they remind me a bit about the Russian Empire. Or it's not called the Russian Empire, but it's based on sort of a Russian Empire at Tsardom. I do want to iterate that we're not using the sound mod. And I do believe the vanilla sounds have been updated yet again. And they sound fantastic. At least last time I checked, I had it turned off, and I can't see why it would have been turned on in between now and the Battle of Berlin video, which I, by the way, hope you guys saw. German troops moving up here on the right side. I'm speechless. I have never commented this little in a battle thus far. And it is because it is so awesome to follow this chaos. Also, I want to iterate again. I have no idea who's going to win this battle. This is a complete open-ender. Flamethrowers have done their work. Now they got to start working down on the second line up here on the ridge. And there's a third and fourth line behind that. So there are a lot of Soviets, or rather Russians, to get through. Republican troops. It sounds so weird to say it, but it sounds really cool at the same time. We have one brave flamethrower, flamethrower moving up there to do some work, but he was shot dead as well. And the Soviet, the Russian mortars, the Republican mortars. If we do more of this, it's gonna take a little bit more time to get used to the new words and the new titles of said faction and whatnot, or not titles, but grouping, I'd say, Imperial and Republican, etc., instead of the more historical names. Republican artillery here on the right side, engaging. Look at the amount of shells they've used, but they're starting to take a lot of small arms fire. Oh, that gun recoil. Since it's flying, without that backstop back there, dug down into the ground, that gun would seriously need some recalibration. Oh, we've seen one flamethrower engage this trench line. I believe the Russian infantry is just safe now. But that is a close call. The next wave of German flamethrowers will probably get close enough. Some German troops have gotten up here onto the ridge, and it does seem like this second line is falling. It is starting to fall, but there are still some soldiers holding their ground here, and there are even more German troops arriving. So over 1,000 German troops will be attacking this trench line. And that is just quite insane if you think about it. But like, imagine then how many are dying every second to mortar fire, artillery fire, and not to mention all the rifles and machine guns. They're going at them really hard with these guns. Fire for effect. Rapid fire. Oh. But the Germans are still taking many casualties back here behind the first line. They're in it and they're getting across. But many Germans are still being killed in the open, and not so much in between the first two lines of defense, because that is what the artillery is currently targeting, not to mention all the mortars. So they've got themselves nicely fortified here in the first line. A lot of troops bunched up. Oh, and that is what... If that isn't the Diplex curse, then I don't know what, but they're getting bunched up here. And all they can do is move forward. Those guns are doing so much damage, but the German guns are returning fire. They too are working down to counter fire, or to, well, provide artillery counter fire, counter barrage here on the Russian Republican guns. This one's damaged. It needs field repairs. One soldier's decided to get off the gun. Oh, we're not going to see that gun repaired. It's manned by one person now. He's doing all the loading, aiming, and shooting. The right side artillery is starting to fall slowly, and once these guns go silent, the Germans are going to have an easier time getting up to the ridge. So these guns are holding a lot of troops back. Then we have the 3 120mm mortars firing for full effect as well. Flamethrower's moving up. He's getting close now. Oh, but he's shot dead. The left flank is taking heavy fire as well from German artillery and rifle fire. Oh. Lunging a lot of German troops up in the air. Oh. Oh, they're attacking the center now. They've moved up. One of the guns is burning here. This is really cool. It's a miracle he's still alive. But he's awaiting certain death. Oh, he's moving in between the positions quite nicely, and it seems to save his life so far. But that officer has his gun targeted at him. Yeah, he's looking just to get a clean shot. They're hitting the wheels. They're hitting the front shield. They're not quite done with him yet. They would like to probably get a flamethrower up there and do some additional damage. So let's zoom out more. We're starting to reach the limits of the game as we're seeing thousands of troops on the screen. I believe even more Germans are being deployed. They've got a lot of deployment waves. And now there's a big rush. They've disabled artillery. They've killed the entire second line of defenders. Now they can move up. Not safely, but they can actually move up without taking fire until they get to the ridge. And they're going to start attacking the Russians behind here. But another 2.5 lines. Almost 3, actually, of defenders are awaiting them. Another 100 or even more are waiting. The majority of the defenders are on this side of the ridge. Will the Germans capture this ridge line, or will they only hold the second line? If you guys want to see a follow-up battle, we could start off where the Germans actually hold this second line and then progress and make this sort of an infinite map. I think that would be quite cool indeed. Oh, he was gonna throw that grenade. I wonder if the German artillery back here is useless now. So, without having actually done any scripting for this particular cause, I wonder if we could actually get the guns up here. Because they're not going to do anything back there. So let's give that a shot. Could be quite interesting. To bring up the field guns. See if they can't aid the German cause a little bit. They're going to be followed in by another wave. Another platoon of men. Oh my. I'd say we're holding up pretty well, though, despite all the casualties and all the explosions and the number of bodies on the ground. Not to mention the alive soldiers fighting, too. We're getting acceptable frame rate. But this is also why I want to upgrade my rig to hopefully do all this in complete smooth frame rates. Oh, another push. They're going for it again. Oh, officers are being shot dead. Flamethrowers are getting up. Machine gunners. I like this. I like to see the AI push up like this in waves. Oh, there's a Russian soldier. Russian Republican soldier. Here come the guns. This is really cool. And the artillery crew have their own hats as well. The infantry have the sort of the yellow. Oh no, it's a purple detail. It's hard to see, but there's a purple sort of brim on their hat. If they can get these guns set up here now, this could be good. They've got the front shields. They might have just enough cover. This is interesting. That is until the Russian Republican mortars zero them in and start dropping shells on them. But let's see if they can't get a few shots off before they go down. There we go. Volltreffer! This ridgeline stuff is really cool too. Okay, now they need another push. Let's hope we did that in the right time. There should be another wave coming in. I'm looking at the clock now. Well, we are approaching 20 minutes, and that could have been the last wave moving up with the artillery. Well, and these guys are dying here as well. The guns are abandoned here on the left side. The guns are the gun crews are dying on this side as well. There's going to be one small last push for the Emperor. Für das Kaiser! I don't think we're going to see the Germans attempt that again. Not today. Right, guys, let's look at casualties. We're going to mark the Germans in yellow. Actually, why don't we change things up? Let's mark the Germans in red. And the Republican Russians in yellow. You're looking at over 1,000 dead Germans here. In 20 minutes of fighting. Insane. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon again. Ciao.